From Peppermill Resort in Reno, Nevada, this is Poker Night in America. Welcome to Poker Night in America. I'm your host, Chris Hansen. Our players and staff sure have had a great time here at the Peppermill, and the cash game has been a lot of fun to follow. And tonight will be no exception as we take you tableside for all the action. Plus, a little while later, we'll get some of Nolan Dalla's thoughts on a controversial new character in the world of poker. But without any further ado, let's get back to our televised $25.50 cash game at the Peppermill Resort Hotel here in Reno, Nevada.
Here's 5 automatic. You show it.
Yes.
Poker Night in America brought to you by 888 Poker, where the world plays online.
500's auto show.
No, Alan and I.
That's a
do
great
500.
idea.
Does everyone agree on that?
200 option, 500 mandatory. Or you can negotiate in between.
500.
I like that.
500.
I like 1,000.
You are such a nickel and dimer.
Oh, come on. 500.
You really
is
think
like,
your information
Well,
is
if you
that
give me
valuable?
I agree with it, like, seriously. 500 is like.
He wants 1,000 so he can go to French Laundry.
We've all seen 4 million.
David Lynn calls with pocket nines.
You ever used the French Laundry?
Yep.
Huh?
David Baker will call
Oh, really?
from button with
Oh, yeah, look me up.
5-3.
Elliot!
I'm going to be in Napa later this week.
Never eaten there. I've heard it's
And the blinds
Yeah,
full.
yeah.
Where are you talking about? Where?
The French Laundry in Napa.
We're going to Napa in February.
You won't be able to get
And here's the flop. It is 3 ace 5. David Baker with 2 pair.
Really awesome.
Okay. I'll have to get the information from you. I'll get the information from you
Warren
later.
bets 350.
It might be the toughest reservation in the United States.
7 months, 8 months, maybe, if you know somebody.
If you have an American Express black card or better. No, it's not ranked that high anymore. It's the most prestigious, without a doubt.
David Lynn calls, and now it'll be interesting to see what David Baker does with his 2 pair. I'm guessing calling
My buddy,
is not
is a former
what
chef
he's
as
going
well.
to be doing.
Well, they're all cooks, you know.
Yeah, it's like a team of them, right?
Yeah.
No call here, raises to 800. Back to Lauren.
In that scenario.
And a re-raise from Lauren to 2350. David Baker moves all in with his 2 pair.
I call.
And a call from Lauren.
That's okay. Hey, Lincoln, though, seriously, you gotta hook me up with that.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Well, Lauren right now just says top pair, but she's not done yet. And they are going to run it twice.
That's one. Give her that one. I almost waited to make sure I didn't chase on the turn.
He burned already.
I thought my
Second turn is a 7.
I think your spouse.
David Baker still ahead on the second.
ace there too. So
And the
Yeah,
river
he's
is a
possible.
5, and so they are going to chop this pot.
chop it up. Nice hand. When you play stud games, you learn how to do the ante thing. So you know it's not your fault. You're
I'm a one-trick
one-trick
pony,
pony.
man.
David,
Are you and I the
will
only
you
stud
come?
players here?
Huh?
Are you and I the only stud players here? Anyone else?
I don't
play
consider
stud?
myself a
Stud.
stud player,
I like to
but
play
I've
stud badly.
But you play
stud for
club
fun.
games.
play,
Yeah. Oh.
Man, for
Flynn
fun,
raises
but
with
not really a
8-4
player.
of
I like
spades
worst
under
part
the
is just
gun.
agitate old men. Like, what's she doing here?
Sure.
This is our game. She doesn't
Have the
even know
private
whose
jet
turn it
pick
is.
my wife and I up,
And
and
I-
we're there.
First
I might do it.
game I played in a casino was stud, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I played 1 round.
First tournament I ever won was stud 8 or better.
Lincoln calls with a suited queen 10.
Sick
kinda
brag.
fun,
You want a
actually.
tournament?
I don't know how it's big game
Yeah.
either, so.
Kind
I
of
don't
miss
think I've
playing
won
those
any
kind of
since.
games.
Danielle in the big blind will call with ace
Tournaments are hard
deuce.
to win. Jeez, peeps.
Except if you're David Baker.
I don't win them. Well, I mean, the other one.
just up to you. Just
And the flop
Really
is
good
6,
at,
10,
you know,
ace with 2 hearts. Huge
making,
flop for Adler.
Min cash, but
In cash,
the
it's
actual
fun.
First, I played the 1500.
Garner's going to bet 300 with his pair of 10s.
First stud tournament.
Now to Danielle, who did hit
We're
top
down like
pair.
a few out of the money. You know O'Neill?
O'Neill
Then
Langston.
folds, so now back to Adler.
Yeah.
The two of us
He's the
have-
happiest man in poker. Just kidding.
because he
that
never
was,
speaks.
I know. That was pure sarcasm. But nobody knows him, so it doesn't really resonate.
It's a phenomenal Raz player, though.
I wanted to start playing stud.
Adler
That's a
calls.
strong word, buddy. I've seen him turn over many Jack 10
Here
9s.
comes the turn. It's an 8 of hearts, so now Adler has the nut flush. Nobody else has
Definition
any
of
other draw
phenomenal in that
working.
Might be slightly different. I just say I'm not going to leave the game he's in. I haven't seen him around in a while.
He's been playing.
Wasn't even sure if
1500 is the bet from Adler, and
See it.
take the pot down.
PLO game goes over to win.
Is it black?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Is it black?
Oh, that's a good one.
Black.
That's a good one.
one.
Anyway, long story short, we're 3 or 4 out of the money. On 5th Street, I have Broadway.
Or you're playing Raz?
No, we're playing
Oh,
studs.
stud 8? Stud? All right.
Yeah.
Your Broadway's a lot better in stud than it is in those two
This was
games.
this year, right?
No, this was like 6 years ago.
But
Then I have a flush draw on 6th Street.
Oh, it's a straddle. I
We're-
thought he limbs.
we're-
or his
we're-
was a-
There's a straddle in play, so Lauren makes it 300.
There you go. That's all you get out of O'Neill.
Failed last time. I'm gonna try this again, Warren.
was he
A
awake
re-raise
at any point during the hand?
from Danielle with ace 10.
He
And I'm
Probably
saying
not.
that, I'm not saying that to be mean.
No,
That's
it's
just
just true.
That's actually.
That could be so dangerous in so many ways.
But he actually does kind of pay attention to his own.
She re-raises to 2300, playing her suited ace king nice and fast.
Oh, right.
Queen.
To show ace.
Show your card,
Oh,
bro.
it's the
Show your
limb.
card.
Poker Night in America is being brought to you by 888poker.com, where the world plays online.
Poker Night in America brought to you by 888 Poker, where the world plays online.
You have to take.
You have to. Is that what we decided
Yeah,
on?
you have to. 200's an option.
Oh, okay.
Wait, what is the?
Why would you ever take 200 as an option?
Well, because the person might not pay.
Yeah, they might not be willing to pay.
Or you really like 200 bucks.
Wait, what do you? What is the?
To show both cards, the person they can pay 200, and then you have the option. You should.
I could go with David, man. Someone's like 500 bucks. I'm like, here's my hand. Check it out.
So if they offer you 500, you have to take it.
With the raise and the snap call, boom.
Thanks for the idea, buddy.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere. Oh, yeah.
Warren Billings re-raises
500 makes a lot of sense.
650 with
200?
ace king.
Yeah,
These hands I definitely don't want to show.
Yeah, I know,
500 I
it's
pretty
okay.
much would show anyway, just
Yeah.
because. it's
Sometimes I'm like, I'd
500
rather not
bucks.
show. But 500
I'm
definitely.
not in a
It's like, here
position
you
to
go.
turn it
Owl
down.
full.
Not too bad, buddy.
Lincoln Garner also has a suited ace.
Got to get a few Don Julios in me, and I'll.
Oh, I know. Then you're stand-up
That's gotta be a
comedian.
record.
Lincoln
gonna-
calls.
I don't know about our
That's
record,
kinda
but It
ridiculous.
was remarkable.
But it wasn't
Let's
that Julio, was
see
it?
what happens
was.
on the
Yeah.
flop.
I thought you said it
And
was
at
something else.
least half, I'll say at least 38%.
The flop is
At least.
8-6 jack.
That's just insane.
So ace 6
I think it could have
now
been
takes the
carryover
lead.
toughness from last night. From 2
Yeah.
nights ago this morning. Easily.
Gotta take that advice. Just don't
825
stop.
the
Once
bet
you stop
from
out,
Lauren.
it's over.
It's like yesterday. We got to
Right.
watch your demeanor just slowly change.
That's why you're owning it. That's why you've been owning it.
Asleep almost. And then I would win a pot, and it would give me a little.
And you'd have
adrenaline.
like a little delirium.
a lot delirium.
In front. Oh, he just.
Came back. Crushed it.
I can honestly say, Al's the most fun
Lincoln
person
calls.
to play
Here
with
comes
at
the
game.
turn. It's
He's also
3.
challenging person to play with at
Okay.
the exact same time.
It's because of
he's in
the
so many
venereal
pots.
diseases I have, David.
Yeah, that's it.
That's
Gotta
me
stay away.
challenging. Like you have to stay away. Exactly.
Hard
None
to
of
play a
them-
hand when venereal disease is being thrown around.
It's never lethal though.
Catch it.
1550 is the bet
So you
from
can taste a
Lauren.
little bit. It's okay. That's
Some
what you're trying
interesting
to say.
table talk has developed here
I'm gonna
on
let you
Poker Night in
characterize it.
America. I guarantee you, by calling on the flop, Lincoln was hoping that it would slow Lauren down and he would get a free river.
Nice hand, Lauren.
Thanks.
When you can
I
bet
gotta
and
see
say
one. I
venereal
gotta see
disease,
one.
Hey, guys, show
You
more.
got me.
Who wants to pay for the other one? Pay for it.
No.
Pay
Negative.
for it. Pay for it.
No.
I feel like
All right, I got another one for Peppermill. You have a sign that says, please turn off the lights when you check into the room, but the TVs are on when you go in the room to show the pretty pictures, but that's energy. It's energy usage. I
I
don't
think it
understand.
turns on like when
You
they
think so? When you use the
when
key?
you check
Wasting
in
energy
or
is
something.
good.
Yeah.
But that's bad for us, because I mean, how many times have we checked in and
Al?
not gone to our room for like 2
Oh yeah,
days?
it's definitely been on there for a long
So
time.
David Lynn
I'm sure I've
hops
left it
in
on for
with
an entire
7
weekend.
But it's
deuce.
nice.
Yeah.
It's nice
last
to,
one was a mistake.
to come into that.
The last one was a mistake,
To go
though.
into that.
It is.
Baker calls
I
with
just
a
think it's funny.
4.
I just think it's like, turn off the lights, but we'll leave the TV.
Al Adler will play ace jack of diamonds.
How you doing? You got lots of chips?
And here's the flop. It's ace, 10, ace.
Check raise. Is that binding?
How much you got? Nice.
David Lynn going to continue to try to take down a
Check
hand with
raise.
7 deuce.
That's binding.
He bets 150, a min raise from Al.
I don't know.
I don't want to not be binding.
Are you still in, Dawson?
You really have anything?
chips?
You have something?
You got
Maybe.
chips and you still want me to like get in touch with Val? Like,
David calls. Let's see how far he takes this 7 deuce.
yes.
No Rira?
Huh?
No Rira?
Is he back?
We'll see.
500, the bet from Adler.
Val is the best.
Oh boy.
Never had a bad.
Here we go. Raised to 1325.
And I'm very curious what you have, Al.
All right, a big pot developing $3,700 in the middle. Here comes the river. It's a king. All right, Al.
Yeah.
He checks. This is going to be David Lynn's last chance to try to win this hand with 7 deuce. I don't know what he can do to get Al to fold. His best option might be actually just hitting him over the head with a frying pan. Because anything he bets, Al is calling.
The nicest, we were talking about travel, and I was like, oh, adopt me. So I got home, my adopted mom now.
Put the gun down, David.
Huh?
Put the gun down.
Yeah, even like the most, the biggest maniac would play.
Put the gun down. What's that supposed to mean?
I mean, that would
Whatever you want it to mean.
turn
There's
down
the
calls.
bet, 1825. Oh,
Just, like,
man.
get in a pot and just be like, oh, all right, good.
You have like nothing behind?
Nothing.
There were some things I wanted to listen to on
Al's not going to fold here, is he? Come on, Al. No, you really got to hand it to David Lynn. He's played 7 deuce about as well as you can in this hand.
I pay that 500 right now.
Oh, I can't show you right now.
All right, we'll pay you 500. You send me both your
I
cards.
can't show you one right now. That's like.
That's what was stipulated.
And Al will make the
Okay.
call.
No, it was like a wimpy non-raise. I don't know. You
Wow, I almost got you full of that. Oh,
No, I was thinking of
Show him the 7 deuce.
I didn't think there was
Show the
much
table
you could
7
do.
deuce.
David, you know what you gotta say in that spot? You gotta say you picked the wrong day to quit sniffing glue.
Right.
the wrong
Oh, I
spot.
love
You
that.
picked
That's
the
my
wrong day to
favorite.
quit sniffing glue, bro.
And I think David Lynn realizes if he maybe had more money with that river bet, he could have talked Al into folding. We've got more poker after the break. Plus, Nolan Dalla will give us his 2 cents on Dan Colman, and what I'm sure will be a calm, collected, and coherent editorial piece. Stick around. Closed captioning is brought to you as a public service by Poker Night in America. Welcome back to Poker Night in America. We return to some of the best players in the game at our cash table. Poker Night in America brought to you by 888 Poker, where the world plays online. Blinds here are 25 and 50, optional $100 straddle. Also in play, Danielle Anderson looks down at ace-7 under the gun. She will not play. And it looks like David Lynn has reloaded after trying to run the 7 deuce bluff, and he's continuing to play fast,
I do.
raising with 6-4.
that
David
my
Baker
hand?
calls with Jack-10.
No, it was you had won a hand and you just didn't feel like stacking. You were struggling.
Like now, there's like, I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's a rough problem when you have so much cash in the back that it.
7s for Lauren.
Standing.
So,
what is going on?
Lynn will fold over to Baker.
Good 30.
Very good day.
ODB with Jack-10 will call.
Oops. Oops.
I'm so confused as to what you had.
Yeah. Oops.
3 players to the flop. Flop is King, Queen, King.
Totally just pulled out a full house. Plays so bad.
McLaughlin's patience is paying off. Let's see now if he can get the rest of the table to pay him off. He will check, so here comes the turn.
So everyone's checking. I pulled a king queen.
And wow, patience is really paying off. McLaughlin turns the full house, and David Baker makes Broadway. Action is on Baker. The bet is 725. Call from Steven. So we're heads up with $3,200 in the pot, with the river coming in 8. $1,050 is the bet.
Yeah, 1050.
I'm guessing a raise somewhere to about 2,800, 2,500. Probably is what's coming from Steven next. Or an even bigger raise up to 4,000.
See, I knew
And
you
a
had like the
fold
Megan
from
nuts,
David
so you thought
Baker.
that I was gonna like set mine, and then like that board comes out, and I'm like,
Hold on. Can only show ace.
He's got
Gonna show
nut,
ace.
nut.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
these players are forced to show their own rule that they've made up. One card if there is
I was
no
like, I don't even want
showdown.
to hit my set on the turn. Because I was like, this is how I like lose all sorts of money all the time. I'm like, I have a set now. Not going away here. The strip club is above the poker table, so you, like, because I just find that I get an edge if there's a stripper in the room, because then the men are like, well, poker is secondary. Let's just pay attention to her. So it's geared for Danielle and I to just win all the money.
Danielle makes it 300.
I'll bring her in.
Yeah, I like it. We haven't really talked about it, but
We could
I like where
franchise
your
one in
head's going. I
Minnesota.
like it.
Minnesota's your target audience.
I'm not sure that's where we want to be, my friend.
Is gaming legal? No, right. So. Is stripping legal?
Stripping is legal.
Why would it be illegal?
And once again, the conversation takes an odd turn on Poker Night
Wait,
in
why would
America.
stripping be illegal? Is it?
I was joking.
She was kidding.
I gotta work on my English. Got you, man.
So we're heads up with Danielle and David.
This fall.
Flop is 8 deuce deuce. Wouldn't be surprised if Danielle would check here. That David has been very aggressive thus far, but looks like she's betting.
I have to do one up. So, oh,
450 is the bet.
Oh, wait, let me get that one.
Team, you've hit him in the penis. Yes.
Lauren, I like the straddles thing.
Yeah,
Very
let's do it. Come on.
That's a great name. I like it. That's pretty funny.
Followed by the question of let's do it.
Thinking about changing the aviator.
So like an acrylic ceiling.
Yeah.
So, can you get a
And the raise is
Just
to
like-
you have a gaming
1,300.
license at the aviator?
Yeah.
Could you also possibly get what license do you need for a strip club? Is that possible?
You need to pay the police chief off.
Okay.
pretty much.
Can you accomplish that quick enough to steal her idea?
He
before
does
it's,
like slot machines.
Not now that you
You know, when David had the 7 deuce and he lost it to Al, if he would have showed it, then the whole table would have known that he's quite possible of pulling 7 deuce at any time.
I just thought I'd throw that out.
And a re-raise from Danielle.
Do you remember Wetson? Are Wetson still on the East Coast? Goodies? How about Goodies?
No, like New York only has really like 7-Eleven and Dunkin'.
No, they're hamburger places.
Oh no, I don't.
And that'll be the end of the hand for David Lynn.
Have any like
And put one on the side of aces not getting cracked for Danielle Anderson.
Oh, that's showing.
Sigh.
We've got another installment of Dalla and 2 cents coming up next. Let's see if Nolan can keep his cool in this one.
Poker Night in America is being brought to you by 888poker.com, where the world plays online.
Daniel Colman has said poker is bad. Daniel Colman has insinuated, don't go into poker, don't play poker, it's bad, it's wrong, it's just self-destructive. Is he right? I don't think so. How can a man that has won almost $21 million in 3 tournaments the last 4 or 5 months, say poker's bad. Are you kidding me? Seriously? Is that what you're saying? Poker's bad? This has provided a person that's 23 years old with a chance to be here. I've never heard of this guy, and he's winning $21 million. That's more than anybody in the NFL, the NHL, the NBA, the Major League Baseball. $21 million in what, 4 months? And he's saying poker is bad? Give me some bad. Give me some of that horrible tragedy. Give me some sense of like, if poker's awful, I'll take it. Give me this awful situation called poker. I'll take it, Daniel Colman. If you don't want it, I will. I'm Nolan Dalla, and that's my 2 cents.
You know, I wish Nolan would just open up more. For more on Poker Night in America, log on to pokernight.com or connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. For everyone here at Poker Night in America, I'm Chris Hansen.
The future of poker may very well be, very well be, Sorry again? Daniel Colman has said again, that's 3, 2, 1. I'm gonna go real slow to high. I'm gonna go really, really like suave to like a raving maniac. Or I'll do this in like about 90 seconds. Ready? You'll never
Poker Night is brought to you by 888 Poker, where the world plays online.
Never love you like I do. Pretty good, huh? What was the guy? What's Lou Rawls? Thank you. You'll never find. I don't know. You don't know Lou Rawls? All right, here we go. That's an outtake that you're not going to use. I can just see it coming. I know the Dalla, and that's my 2 cents.
From Peppermill Resort in Reno, Nevada, this is Poker Night in America. Welcome to Poker Night in America. I'm your host, Chris Hansen. Our players and staff sure have had a great time here at the Peppermill, and the cash game has been a lot of fun to follow. And tonight will be no exception as we take you tableside for all the action. Plus, a little while later, we'll get some of Nolan Dalla's thoughts on a controversial new character in the world of poker. But without any further ado, let's get back to our televised $25.50 cash game at the Peppermill Resort Hotel here in Reno, Nevada.
Here's 5 automatic, you show it? Or
Yes.
Poker Night in America brought to you by 888 Poker, where the world plays online.
500's auto show.
No, Al and I.
That's a
do
great
500.
idea.
Does everyone agree on that?
200 option, 500 mandatory. Or you can negotiate in between.
500.
I like that.
500.
I like 1,000.
You are such a nickel and dimer.
Oh, come on. 500.
You really
is like,
think your information
Well,
is
if you give
that
me
valuable?
1,000,
I agree with it, like, seriously. 500 is like.
He wants 1,000 so he can go to French Laundry.
We've all seen 4 million.
David Lynn calls with pocket nines.
You ever eat the French Laundry?
Yep.
Huh?
David Baker will call
really?
from the button with
Oh, yeah, look me up.
5-3.
Elliot.
I'm going to be in Napa later this week.
I've never eaten there. I've heard it's like
And the blinds
Yeah,
full.
yeah.
Where are you talking about? Where?
The French Laundry in Napa.
We're going to Napa in February.
You won't be able to get
And here's the flop. It is 3 ace 5. David Baker with 2 pair.
Okay. I'll have to get the information from you. I'll get the information from you.
One bets 350.
It might be the toughest reservation in the United States.
7 months? 8 months? Maybe, if you know somebody.
If you have an American Express black card or better. No, it's not ranked that high anymore. It's the most prestigious, without a doubt.
David Lynn calls, and now it'll be interesting to see what David Baker does with his 2 pair. I'm guessing calling
buddy,
is not
is a former
what he's
chef
going to
as
be
well.
doing.
Well, they're all cooks, you know.
yeah, it's like a team of them, right?
Yeah.
No call here, raises to 800. Back to Lauren.
In that scenario.
And a re-raise from Lauren to 2350.
have our degree.
David Baker moves all in with his 2 pair.
I call.
And a call from Lauren.
That's okay. Hey, Lincoln, though, seriously, you gotta hook me up with that.
Yeah.
I'm interested.
Well, Lauren right now just has top pair, but she's not done yet. And they are going to run it twice.
That's one. Give her that one. I almost waited to make sure I didn't chase on the turn.
He burned already.
Thought my
Second turn is a 7. David Baker still ahead on the second. And the river is a 5, and so they are going to chop this pot.
Chop it up. Nice hand. When you play stud games, you learn how to do the ante thing. So, you know, it's not your fault. You're
I'm a one-trick pony, man.
David,
Are you and I the only stud players here?
Huh?
Are you and I the only stud players here? Anyone else?
I don't
play
consider
stud?
myself a stud player,
I like to
but
play
I've
stud badly.
But you play
stud for
but I
fun.
play,
Yeah. Oh.
Man, for
Lynn
fun,
raises
but
with
not really a
8-4 of
I play
spades
worse
under
than
the
just
gun.
Agitate old men.
Like, what's she doing here?
Sure.
This is our game.
She doesn't
have the
even know
private
whose
jet
turn it
pick
is.
my wife and I up, and
I
yeah,
know.
we're there.
First game I played in a casino was stud, actually.
Really?
Yeah, I played one round.
First tournament I ever won was stud 8 or better.
Lincoln calls with a suited queen 10.
Sick
Kinda
brag.
fun,
You want a
actually.
tournament?
I don't know how it's no one else has a big game
Yeah.
either, so.
Kind of
I
miss
think I've
playing
won
those
any
kind of
since.
games.
Danielle in the big blind will call with ace
Tournaments are hard
deuce.
to win. Jeez, peeps.
Except if you're David Baker.
I don't win them. Well, I mean, the other one.
just a few. Just a
And the
couple.
flop is
Really good
6, 10,
you know,
ace with 2 hearts. Huge
making,
flop for Adler.
Min cash, but
And cashing's
the actual.
fun.
First, I played at 1500.
Garner's going to bet 300 with his pair of 10s.
First stud tournament.
Now to Danielle, who did hit
We're
top
down like
pair.
a few out of the money. You know O'Neill?
O'Neill Long,
Then
Langston.
folds, so now back to Adler.
The two of us
He's the
have-
happiest man in poker. Just kidding.
because he
that
never
was,
speaks.
I know. That was pure sarcasm. But nobody knows him, so it doesn't really resonate.
It's a phenomenal Raz player, though.
I want to start playing stud.
Adler
That's a
calls.
strong word, buddy. I've seen him turn over many Jack 10
Here
9s.
comes the turn. It's an 8 of hearts, so now Adler has the nut flush. Nobody else has
Definition
any
of
other draw
phenomenal in mine
working.
Might be slightly different. I'll just say I'm not going to leave the game he's in. I haven't seen him around in a while.
He's been playing.
Wasn't even sure if
1,500 is the bet from Adler, and
See
that
it.
will take the pot down.
Yellow game goes over to win.
Is it black?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Is it black?
Oh, that's a good one.
Black.
That's a good
That's a
one.
good one.
Anyway, long story short, we're 3 or 4 out of the money. On 5th Street, I have Broadway.
Were you playing Raz?
No, we're playing
Oh,
stud.
stud 8? Stud? All right.
Yeah.
Your Broadway's a lot better in stud than it is in those two
This was
games.
this year, right?
No, this was like 6 years ago.
But
Then I have a flush draw on 6th
Oh,
Street.
it's a straddle. I
We're-
thought he limbs.
we're-
or
we're-
There's a straddle in play, so Lauren makes it 300.
You go. That's all you get out of O'Neill.
Failed last time. I'm gonna try this again, Lauren.
was he
A re-raise
point during the hand?
from Danielle with ace 10.
He
And I'm
Probably
saying that,
not.
I'm not saying that to be mean. That's
No, it's
just
just true.
That's actually.
That could be so dangerous in so many ways.
But he actually does kind of pay attention to his own.
She re-raises to 2,300, playing her suited ace king nice and fast.
Oh, right.
To show ace.